Greetings loved ones and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my first video since getting back from basically a month-long road trip. Incredible. I'm so happy to be home and so happy to be sitting down, filming with you guys, getting back on track. I know that my videos over December and January both were very spotty because before that I had been in kind of a rhythm of Tuesday and Friday uploads, and then when I started doing Vlogmas in December, I was just like, I can't do a video every day and then 2 main channel videos a week. I need to do just one. And so I was pretty much just uploading on Fridays throughout the month of December, and then I literally only uploaded one other video than this one that I'm filming right now to my main channel in January. So I apologize for that, but your girl was on the road and it was hard to find places to sit down and film in, and that's my excuse, all right? But today I'm going to be talking about the cost of a cross-country road trip because I find financial videos incredibly intriguing, and I also find videos where people talk honestly about the cost of an experience to also be very intriguing. So I wanted to share with you guys today the amount of money that I spent on my road trip. Obviously in the thumbnail you can see the amount that I spent, so I'll just start off by saying the amount that I spent in grand total from going through my bank account right before filming this and adding it all up. I spent $2,404.79 on our road trip through the Northeast and Canada. And I'm basically making this video to talk about the things that cost the most money for us on the road and what we didn't expect, and just kind of tell you like the real amounts, I suppose. So first off, everything in Canada is a little bit more expensive. So whatever would be posted on menus or gas prices or whatever, it would be a portion of that in USD. So we would always check our bank accounts after and be like, oh, this is actually the amount that we paid. So for every $1 US, it's 132 Canadian dollars. And this changes very frequently, but that's the current Canadian exchange rate. So everything was definitely like a bit more expensive. Food was a little bit more expensive. Sometimes we would go to diners and something that I would get normally for like $8 here in the US would be like 14 Canadian. And I was like, what? Why this? Like my eggs, hash browns, and toast should not be this much, dude. That's crazy. So food was definitely a huge thing that we spent so much money on. Like a huge portion of that amount is probably just food because we would eat out for most meals. Literally one time we bought food from the grocery store. We bought mac and cheese and croissants and then made it at one of the places we were staying at. But that was definitely a huge cost. Most of our meals were around $14 USD. And then if we were getting something cheaper, like from Subway or A&W or something super fast, I was eating a lot of Tim Hortons Beyond Sausage when they actually had it in the provinces. So I think only Ontario had it, and then BC had it as well. I don't freaking know, but I was getting them a bunch when we were in Ontario, the like egg, cheese, Beyond Sausage sandwiches on English muffins from Tim Hortons. They were so dank. And Dunkin' Donuts has them in the US as well, by the way. I digress. But those were, I don't know, like $6 or something like that. So that would be like the cheaper side of meals that we would get. I also ate a lot of those Beyond Meatball Subway sandwiches. Like a foot-long Subway sandwich was, I don't know, like 12 Canadian or something like that. But also a huge portion of what I saw posted in my bank account right before filming this was the international transaction fees. So I need to look up exactly how much the international transaction fee is because obviously it changed for every purchase that I made. And upon looking this up, I'm realizing that it also varies per bank. So I bank with Wells Fargo and their foreign transaction fee is 3% for every purchase. So I was getting a lot of fees that were like 120 or something like that for just buying anything on my card. And I normally don't carry cash with me. I carry like a very small amount of cash, like maybe $5. And I never got Canadian cash out to use while I was in Canada. So that's why I was doing a lot of those international transaction fees. But other than that, definitely our most expensive cost as well was freaking gas, dude. I mean, it is a lot more expensive to get gas and fill up your whole tank in Canada than it is in the US. So in the US, I would normally pay something like $38 to fill up our Lexus that we have. And it's a hybrid. It gets decent gas mileage, like 28 miles to the gallon or something, which is a lot better than our gas guzzling trucks, which were literally in Oregon. Like, this is a separate side note, but both of our trucks are like $70 to fill up. So basically double that amount. And also my truck gets 10 miles to the gallon and Finley's gets 12. Like, that is not okay. So we're very happy to have a more eco-conscious vehicle now. But back to what I was saying. So if I spent $35 or somewhere around that, 38 or so, to fill up my whole tank here in the US, it would be like 52 USD to fill it up in Canada. And they do different prices for like liters and stuff like that too. And we basically just pulled off every time we saw a gas station. We weren't like trying to find the most economical gas that we could find. And so that would definitely help, like using that Gas Buddy app. Sorry, I'm logging into my bank to get more tea for you on the cost of things. But yeah, I love that Gas Buddy app so much because it can just tell you on the map area how much each place that you're going to, like which areas have the cheapest gas basically, so you could stop there rather than others. So definitely you could use that to save a little bit of cash. Also, what was really a luxury for us when we were staying around places in the Northeast, if you guys saw my road trip vlogs, I have one more that's probably gonna go up either tomorrow or on Sunday. I'm filming this on Friday when you're seeing this, but I already have 2 out of the 3 road trip vlogs up, which are both around 20 minutes long, a little bit less. I just wanted to split them up so that it wasn't like almost an hour of footage. Anyways, I'll link them on the screen as well as down below. But in the first vlog, I was staying with a bunch of my aunts and we were staying for free everywhere until Buffalo, New York, right before we went to Niagara Falls. We got our first Airbnb, which was so cheap. We got an Airbnb around that area in Buffalo for like 40 bucks a night, which was iconic. And Airbnb really, I love that app so much compared to motels and hotels, because something that we saw time and time again on the road trip was motels in Canada would be like around 70 USD, which is kind of on the steeper end. Normally in the US, I would find something for like 55 to 60, and a lot of places were like 110 or 140 Canadian, which in USD is like around 100 bucks. And we only stayed at one motel the entire time we were out because we didn't book an Airbnb until the nighttime, and then it was too freaking late. There was nothing around in the route that we were in. I think we were around Manitoba when we stayed in a motel, and it was literally almost negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It was so cold, but at least we found the cheapest motel that we could in the area. We literally drove extra to go to somewhere that was not $140 Canadian. It was crazy. We had dogs as well, so that cost was huge too, because they add, I think, like $10 per dog on. I don't freaking know. I digress. Airbnb was definitely the cheapest option, and I also have a $55 off travel credit, which is always linked in my description. So if you guys want to go and use that, I would appreciate it. I actually didn't have any travel credits on this trip, and so I was paying full price for everything. So the reflected cost of what I'm paying in this video and what I told you the total was, like, that would be, I feel like, normal for anybody going on the road who wasn't getting groceries and was eating out and getting gas and, like, you know, just doing the whole thing. Like, I wasn't getting discounts for things, you know what I mean? But at the beginning, we definitely were staying with a lot of families, so that discounted a fair amount of our total. But yeah, for the rest of the trip, we stayed in random little Airbnbs. We would just drive as long as we could, and then go and settle in a place for the night. And most of the Airbnbs that we were staying in, if we stayed for one night, I would try to find something less than $60, but most stuff was around like 60 to 65. And then if we were staying for more than one night, then it would be double that, so 120 plus a service fee plus a cleaning fee, which every host has a different cleaning fee. It's not just like a set price that Airbnb does for every single host. So there was this one place that we were staying at that was posted at like $60 a night on the app, and then when we actually booked it, it was $190 for all total. So it was so much more money, like what the even frick. And so that can be kind of frustrating about Airbnb, but it definitely helps to have that travel credit. So if you want to go and sign up for Airbnb, again, the link is in the description and you can get a little money off because that's always great. And then when you guys sign up, I get money off. But what I did not know is that travel credits expire. So I think I had like $65 posted on my account and it would say it too, like use your $65 travel credit here. And it was like expired June 20th, 2019. I'm like, just take it off the app, my dude. I don't need to see it, okay? It was teasing me the whole time. Anywho's, that was a lot of money. But what was really, really fantastic about the last like 3 nights of our trip when we were on Vancouver Island, one of my subscribers messaged me and she was like, hey, I run this resort. It's called Cedar Park Resort. It's in Port McNeill. I would love to give you and Finley a free stay here for your time on Vancouver Island. And we had stayed 2 nights on Airbnb in Nanaimo. And then from there we went to Port McNeill to stay for 3 nights. And it was so clutch. It was amazing. Cedar Park Resort, if you're ever around the Port McNeill area or you want to go to that like kind of more northern side of Vancouver Island, I would highly recommend staying there. She also has like RV sites and setups and everything like that, so you could road trip up there in an RV or like a tiny house or something and park it there. So definitely check her out. I was so, so grateful to have that. And we obviously left her a little bit of money as well for the trouble when we were leaving because I felt bad just like not paying anything. And then aside from that, like when you travel, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely do a little bit of shopping. I'm like, okay, well, having our dogs too, we would buy more dog food for them. And so that was around like, I don't know, 20 bucks or so every time we did that. And we also bought gifts here and there. It really depends on what you're getting, but for the most part, I'd say we spent around like $120. I mean, personally, I probably spent around $120 on gifts or just little things that I definitely didn't necessarily need, but I wanted at the time to either get as a memento or just because I thought my dog looked cute in it, you know, those types of things. But I was trying very hard not to buy like more clothes because we had been traveling for 41 days. So we left to go home for the holidays on December 18th and we didn't get home until January 27th. But we were only on the road trip for 3 weeks and 3 days. So the 3rd until the 27th was the days that we were on this trip. So it was like a little bit less than a month, but it definitely was the perfect amount of time to spend over $2,000. Which I thought that it was gonna be around that much. I was like, definitely gonna be at least $2,000 because just all the stuff that you're doing, all of the gas that you're spending, it can be a lot, my dudes. I also forgot to say that we took the ferry, obviously there and back from Vancouver Island. So each time that we went, it was $70 for our car and the 2 of us to get over there. So that was definitely a little bit of a cost. And then also when you are traveling by car, if you're a speedy driver like Finley and I are, we didn't really realize until obviously we got speeding tickets that the Ontario police specifically, and I think Finley got one as well in Manitoba, but they were on our asses for sure on the highway because the Canadian speed limit on the highways that we were on when we got speeding tickets, it was average 90 kilometers per hour, which translates to 55 miles per hour, which is so much less than I normally drive on US highways. I'm normally going like at least 70. And so that's what I was doing because it felt normal to me to go 70. And I would like tap on my cruise control and just be like cruising at whatever. And I got pulled over and I think he clocked me at like 112 or something like that. And then Finley was at like 120 something. And we both got speeding tickets. But when we were telling our Canadian friend Lisa in Port McNeill about this, she was like, dude, some of the highways around here used to be 130 kilometers per hour. I don't know why they changed. Like, what the hell? And I was like, damn, that is crazy. Because we would have gotten like a super speeder for going that much in those areas. But yeah, I got a ticket in Canadian for 52 because he knocked a bunch of miles off of it. I don't know if police do that because you're a woman or because they're just trying to be nice because I was like from the US. I really don't know, but Finley's definitely was not as discounted as mine. I think he had to pay around like $300 or something like that in Canadian, and I had to pay 52 in Canadian, which literally translated to like $38 in US. I was like, whatever. But still, man, that's definitely stuff that you don't always take into account. I remember when we went on our San Francisco road trip just from Oregon down, Finley got a speeding ticket on that trip for like almost $400. It ended up being insane. It was like 380 or something like that, which is just wild. He was going like 15 over, like not even that much. Ugh, it's so frustrating. So definitely my main tips for road tripping across the country is watch out for those miles per hour or kilometers per hour signs. I would actually in the future get some sustainable snacks to keep in the back of my vehicle, because we had like popcorn and that's it. And then in the mornings we would always hit up a Tim Hortons if there was one around, and we would get those breakfast sandwiches to go, which ended up, you know, it all tallies up. We would always get pizzas though, which was a more economical decision because it would last us for like 3 days sometimes to get like a big ass pizza and then just keep it in the car and eat that throughout the days for our meals. So those are some little tips. Using the Gas Buddy app so you can find cheaper gas, and using my freaking discount code on Airbnb, baby. But really love that app so much. I also think that you can use like Priceline or something else to find the cheapest motels around you if you don't want to do Airbnb, but you can find some really cheap stuff on Airbnb. I'll stop raving about Airbnb, okay? But yeah, man, it definitely was a hell of a lot of money, but I wouldn't have changed the experience for the world. I wouldn't have, you know, taken it back or been like, give me back my money, I didn't want to do that, because it was so great. We got to see so much. We got to travel through so much of the Northeast, visit so much of my family, and I've never road tripped through Canada before, and neither had Finley. And that man is my best friend. He's my lover. He's so entertaining. Even when we weren't playing music in the car, we just had so much fun because we were so giggly together, and it was great. It was an amazing experience. Also, just so many times throughout the trip, I was like, this is such an experience that not many people get to have. And I just kept thinking about that. Like my dad texted me one day and was like, I hope you're having so much fun on your road trip. You're gonna remember this for the rest of your life. And I was like, honestly, Dad, I am. I know that. And so I'm just super grateful that we were even able to do this. Like we're at that point in our lives where it's just Finley and I and our dogs, you know, like no kids or anything. We have the ability to just like pick up and head out on the road for a damn month or so and just have an amazing time. So very, very grateful. And I really just wanted to make this to be like, hey, this is the true cost of a cross-country road trip. I don't know why I keep doing peace signs in this video. I don't really know. It's feeling like the answer to my issues. It's just anything being like peace sign and doing a weird face, so I'm sorry for that. But yeah, I hope this was helpful if any of you are thinking about doing this. I know that it would be a little bit less expensive to do it through the US, but again, I wouldn't change the experience for the world. We saw so much beautiful stuff, so if you want to go and watch the road trip vlogs, again, they will be linked down below for you guys to go and do that. They're all on my vlog channel, Meghan Hughes Vlogs, baby. And yeah, I think that's the end of this video. I just had a few things to say, but I hope that you enjoyed it. Love you guys so much. I'm so freaking happy to be filming back in my room. I know I already said that at the beginning, but it is true. All right, I love you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up for me. Comment down below the biggest road trip you have ever been on, or if you've ever been on a road trip at all. Larry just did a weird sigh. Subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Ring the notifications bell if you want to be notified when I upload. You can become a patron of mine to support my earnings for this month. And until my next video, stay smiling. Bye, guys.